Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Season 16, Episode 8, the finale of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I apologize. Last night at 10 o'clock was the finale. It is 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning the following Thursday. The only good thing is that on Hulu, they come out without commercials the next day. So I always have the commercials in because I watch it live. Same with Justified. I will likely watch some of the Justifieds live. Even though it's on Tuesday night, I'll take a couple arcade nights off and I'll watch them live and we'll have the commercials. But if you wait till the following day, they're on Hulu with no commercials, and that was able to eliminate almost 50 minutes of commercials in the 2.5 hour premiere. I added it up. I think it was like 47 minutes of commercials. So by waiting a day, I actually saved like almost an hour of my time. But it is fun to jump into the commercials. We did it for almost every episode of this, and it's a good time. But I had no choice this time. There's no commercials. 23 minutes and 2 seconds is what I got on the time. So typically they're around 22 minutes without commercials. We should be able to fly through it. The last we saw, we got the gang goes bowling. And D1 technically. Even though Dennis had the trick of gutter ball, gutter ball, gutter ball, it worked every time. The women decided, because it was women versus men, that we just had to get out of our own heads. The women are destroying themselves and so worried about what they're doing that they're letting the guys mentally screw with them. So at the end, we learn this. All the women prevail, pretty much in that round at least. Artemis is just banging Frank every 5 minutes. Snail ends up joining in at the end, has a threesome. And Dennis's trick stops working. It does actually kind of work, though, because it was a gutter ball. It's just she was, well, I don't know. I'm not a bowler, so I don't know. I guess you wouldn't call it a gutter ball because she got one pin. But it still ended up in the gutter at the very end. Like, it hit the last pin, dinged it, wobbled it, knocked it over. They were all Dennis pins, too, which was funny. And then it fell over and went in the gutter. But I guess a gutter ball would be no pins. Either way, D won by one pin. She turns around to celebrate. Everyone left. The guys went to a 76ers game. Frank's having a threesome with Artemis and Snail in the bathroom. And the waitress who set the whole thing up is eating the chili cheese fries that are banned from the McPoyle's bowling alley because of a horrendous chili cheese fry accident, which wasn't even an accident. They go to fill in for D and Dennis, and he throws the bowling ball at his brother's thumb hard. Like, that time he probably shattered bones. We're into the finale. I don't know what to expect. 23 minutes, and we're done with season 16. It could be anything. There's no to be continued. It's a one and done solo episode. Let's find out. You guys want to see more of what I do. Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel. Justified is already up on YouTube and Patreon. Patreon, full unedited 2.5 hour premiere. It'll be up every week till we're done. This, same thing, every episode in full. Barry, Ted Lasso, Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, Purse of Interest, Tarico, hundreds of movies and shows. Check it out in the description, the link for Patreon. If not, season 16, episode 8, the finale of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. 10:30.
Your blood work is all normal.
Excellent.
It does look like your blood pressure is a little high, however.
That's pretty high.
Come on.
I go with my dad
Those
all
are
the
for old
time.
men.
Well, we all get to a certain age.
Command my body to make it low.
That's really not how chronic high blood pressure works.
Okay, well, it is how it works with Dennis Reynolds.
This is
I will
literally
take
my
control of
father
this.
at the doctor.
Don't you
But
worry about
he's
a thing.
almost 70.
Because Dennis Reynolds is going to figure this all out on his own.
Dennis takes a mental health day. No commercials. I just bought shoes like this. I have shoes that link to this watch on my arm.
Are we above or below sea level?
What?
Don't that family style cookie. That's our big worry, because this sucker's gonna explode. You can't take a pressure cooker under the sea.
Yeah.
Telling me that you can't bring a pressure cooker onto a submarine?
I'm calling Mental Health Day.
Mental health day. What kind of cuckoo shit is that?
No, you're right.
Hey, Dennis, I'll come drive you. I could use a beach day.
Oh shit!
This is my Mental Health Day, and none of you are part of it. God damn it.
Our system double books, so that's our mistake, and we are happy to offer you a complimentary upgrade. There's an app.
Another app.
I guess, since my blood pressure's going up, Suma, play Roxette.
Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart. He's gonna fall in love with the car. This is an amazing episode because this is literally the arcade.
No, fine.
This is whenever I hire new people
We'll
at the
call it mental
arcade.
health.
You can scan the code.
Another app.
Why?
Because the code takes you to the app.
I have cash. You have tea. Why
They
we
don't
just
accept
split it?
cash.
We don't take cash, though.
The other day I went to the mall. They go, we
But
are a no
there is
cash
a
mall.
$10 minimum.
They literally have a no cash mall sign in the window. I'm like, what?
It's not your fault.
I usually pay cash all
You
the
didn't
time.
create the system.
But that generation, I'm not
Two
knocking the
Velveteens,
generation.
please.
They grew up in this world. Oh God, everything he controls. I'm assuming it's not on the roof. There's a good chance that his phone had enough grip.
What do you mean? You can't, no,
Oh
you can't
God, he's gonna roll a
pressure
stop
cook
sign.
right
Oh, yeah, you can. And I get...
I guess because he's not connected.
there. Fantastic.
I hope the car outruns the cop. That would have been great if the car tried to run from the
Hello,
cops.
officer.
Yeah, the phone was right there, so
You
it's
don't care.
clearly missing.
All right, stepping out. Well, who could have predicted that?
I would have left the door open.
Hey, those aren't the phones, guys.
Phones for new customers.
Oh, for new customer, right. Not for old customers, not for the paying customers, the people who've been paying for months and months, for years and years and years.
Stress is through the roof.
Good. Let's try something else.
In
I
my
would
day,
believe
if
it.
you wanted to get out of work, you hit yourself with a hammer, or you got gnawed by a shark, or something simple.
You're all set.
seriously?
That's it?
This is the phone.
It's the phone.
I'm gonna open the box. I'm gonna turn it on. The phone's going to work.
Amazing.
You talk to each other! Talk! No, I didn't say January. I didn't say anything. I didn't give a
Oh
month.
my
I
God,
didn't
this
give
is
a day.
hilarious.
Representative.
This is my dad talking to
Representative.
automotive.
Human!
He'll literally call me and go, Jay,
D,
take care of
E,
this for me, because he eventually
as in
will kill
neighbor.
somebody.
I.
N as in nightmare. N as in nightmare. Somebody help me! There has to be a way to open this goddamn car.
Bear with me here, okay? I know you didn't create the system.
Who is the person who
created
your
the
customer
system?
service system in such a way that the information entered
Yes.
into the computer?
Sir, I don't know. I can send you to one of my
What is
supervisors.
that
No,
dinging?
no,
The
don't
phone's
send me to
dying?
the
What's
supervisor,
happening?
Daisy. It's just you
Oh,
and me.
his stress.
Just
My
you
bad.
and me, Daisy, fighting the good fight against a broken system engineered.
The Suma. It's made in America, right?
Yes, it is.
Where?
Where is Suma made? I absolutely love this episode. It is so real to real life experiences. I got thrown around to everybody to the point where I literally cut my own credit card in half and told them sue me.
Can I get you a water or something?
A towel.
If you'd like to leave him a message.
Where is his beach house? That's what I'd. Well, they're not going to give that to you. Beach day?
I was supposed to go to the beach.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I took a mental health day. Self-destruct. Which beach? He's going to find this dude.
Dinner's ready.
What is he reading? The Pelican Brief. John Grisham.
Hi.
Look at the sunset. He's going to listen to his heart. He's doing an Indiana Jones. Dennis just tore the heart out of the man who ran the car dealership. Is he gonna eat the diamond? He eats the diamond crushed heart of Asuma. Blood streaming down his wrist.
This is a medical marvel. Well, you lowered your blood pressure by 20 points in less than a minute.
Told you, Dr. Suma.
Dr. Suma.
Are we above or below sea level?
I'll be right in.
He never left. That was all. And there's the girl. There's all the people. That was the cop. He's gonna make it. That guy's like, he's the man. He's got his shit together. All right, guys, so that's it for the finale of season 16, episode 8. Dennis takes a mental health day. So at the end, we learn he never even left. He took everybody from the doctor office, including the receptionist and the doctor and the security and the guys and people on the posters and the waiting room, and made this entire day happen in his head so that he could stress himself to extremes in his own fantasy world. And then at the end, find the guy who created Asuma, which is the car company, so he could rip his heart out, crush it into a diamond, and then consume it. And by consuming the diamond-shaped heart of the owner, just resting in peace in the chair at the doctor's office, he is able to cut in half his high blood pressure. He goes back to normal. He was pretty much at a completely normal rating, healthy as healthy could be. And in the beginning, he had higher blood pressure than my father. I said this at the beginning. I go to the doctor with my father all the time. I'm very familiar with blood pressure ranges. Dennis can't be more than like 5, if anything, 10 years older than me. I'm 41. I feel like Dennis is in his late 40s in real life and the show. But the ranges he was at in the beginning of the show were extremely high. That's like the bad end of my father's. So the doctor is like, you got to start taking care of yourself. I talked about it in the beginning. This is a thing I had never heard of until after pandemic. People started working at the arcade and calling out saying, I'm taking a mental health day. What made it a thing was he called me first, or his friend called me first and said, yo, so-and-so's going to call out. I'm just letting you know they had a breakup with their girlfriend. And I was like, all right, well, that's weird that you would call me. But he's like, I'm calling you because if you need someone to cover, I'll cover. So then sure enough, like an hour or two later, the other kid calls out and didn't even like lie about it. He was like, yo, I had an issue with my girlfriend and I don't feel good and I'm calling out. And I am in my 40s. My business partner's in his 60s. He is way worse than me. He's like my dad. He's like, no, you don't call out because you broke up with your girlfriend. And I'm like, are we allowed to even say that to somebody? Could you tell somebody you can't call out for a mental health reason? I don't know. I didn't even look it up. All I know is we let him do it. And then he ended up getting fired like a couple months later because he was a horrible worker. But it got to the point where I was like, what the hell is this? And then other people I talked to about it were like, that's completely normal. To the point where I believe some people told me you actually have to legally give people mental health days. So we do anyway. We're not like horrible bastards. We're not like, oh, you broke up with your girlfriend, show up to work. Like, I get it. I understand it. I just normally am used to people lying about it. Like they'd call up and go, I hurt my foot, and they really did break up with their girlfriend and they just don't want to say that. But apparently now it's acceptable or something. But the point being, Dennis is just like, what? Mental health day? You could do this? You could just take a mental health day and not do anything? It's acceptable, apparently. But beyond that. So now Dennis is going around trying to take care of himself. Everything's on apps. His blood pressure is just getting worse and worse. It's shooting through the roof. Then he goes to the phone place. And all of these things are true. Everything that happened to Dennis, even as ridiculous as they sound, or as much stress as it was giving him, I have encountered every one of those things multiple times. Yeah, we have phones in stock, but they're only for new customers. If you are getting a new phone, but you're a repeat customer, we have to use those as promotional phones. It's real shit that goes on. I'm surprised he even got the phone, but then we find out at the end, it's all in his mind anyway. But then when he went to the coffee place, she's like, I can't mix boba with tea. What do you mean you can't? Just don't put the boba in the tea. Yeah, but I don't know how to enter it in the register. Just don't enter it in the register. Charge me full price and just don't put the boba in the tea. And then they look at you like, I don't know how to do that. Like, how do I do that? And I almost half don't blame the workers because they're afraid, what if I do this and now I get in trouble? Like my boss goes, why didn't you put the boba in the tea? Well, they asked me not to. Well, you can't do that. It's like everyone's afraid of what another person's going to say to them, or whether they get fired or yelled at, or they want to do everything by the book, by the system. And I get that too. Even entering it in the system. I've had that happen. There was a kid at the arcade who was like, someone didn't want cheese on their cheesesteak. It's the same price without cheese. Just don't put cheese on it. Ring it in as a cheesesteak. Don't put cheese on it. But then it rings in as a cheesesteak. All right, well, you know it's not, and I know it's not, and it doesn't matter because you're charging the same price. But I don't want to ring it in as a cheesesteak when I know there's not cheese on it. There's been entire discussions that have gone on for similar things like that. Like, just don't put cheese on it and charge them for the cheese. But then it's in the system that I charge someone for cheese that didn't get cheese. Everybody is so worried about what everyone else is doing, and it's all accounted for. It isn't like back in the day where I would just do everything cash and I knew in my head what it was. And at the end of the day, you just counted your register and then there it is. But I am ranting for a year and a day about a bunch of nonsense. It is just, there are so many relatable things in that episode. And then at the end of the day, everybody was a fictional member of Dennis's fantasy. They were real people. But in Dennis's fantasy world, this is how he lowers his stress and his blood pressure in this world. And I love the way they did it. Everything was not real. Everything that happened were real life circumstances and situations that could happen and probably do happen every day to everybody. But Dennis made them happen in his own head and then found a way to control it in his own mind by going and finding the maker of the car that started it all and consuming his diamond heart. So he wakes up, blood pressure back to normal, and he did it himself by just using his mental abilities, his mental powers. He used his mental health day to fix himself without wasting any time, because it was only 5 minutes, I think the doctor said, went by, and now he's off to go help the gang with their dilemma. And this was the finale of Always Sunny. Honestly, if you think about it, it's a fantastic episode. It's as real to life as any other episode could be, and it does sum up the season nicely. So now we barely got the gang. We barely got the gang in this episode. I almost would believe this isn't the finale, but people told me it is, and I looked it up and it said it was. So we just sidelined the entire gang for the final episode. We got to see them, but it was basically a Dennis episode, which is interesting if you think about it, because a season ago, we were led to believe that Dennis wouldn't even be part of the show anymore. So Dennis got his own little episode, sort of, to end it all. You guys let me know what you think. You want to see more of what I do? In the description of every video is a link for Patreon. You'll see these in full unedited with the last 3 seasons, I believe, maybe more. We have full unedited episodes of every episode of those seasons. Barry, Ted Lasso, Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the new Gremlins animated show, Toriko. And we just started Justified, both episodes on YouTube and Patreon in full unedited, as well as all the other shows. Check the link in the description. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.